Blessings BookTube. It's another Tag Tuesday. Today I am finally getting to the YA August, however you would say it, tag from Sui and Mariandrea. Let me get my ears on in case that's where the mic is. All right. There are 10 prompts in this, and I will be going to the museum, to the library today or maybe tomorrow, and grab me a YA book. I've got 10 days left in August to read it. So you do the same. If you haven't participated in this new challenge, I encourage you to do so. It is fun and well-designed prompts as well. Number one, never have I ever, fun game. Never have I ever read YA books. Why not? Or why do you read YA literature? Yes, I have read YA books. I have read the Percy Jackson, at least a couple of those. All the Harry Potters. I have read all the Narnias, if those count. I've read a couple of the Divergent ones. The way this happened was I was in Honduras, where it was very difficult to get books in general, even in Spanish. And I found a lady. She had a bunch of old English books and a few new ones. And so I would buy these genre books, for the most part, for myself. But then I would donate them on to my school library so they would have more English books. And I knew the kids would love the Divergent ones, so I grabbed a couple of those, and maybe another one of the series too, but I can't remember. I also, when I was redesigning the library in a job I had in Dakar in a bilingual academy there, I was the curriculum director, but ended up being sort of acting principal or assistant principal since we didn't have one, and that's what the teachers most wanted. Did not enjoy that very much, but did enjoy making myself the librarian. So I gave up my office so the teachers could have a teacher lounge, and I moved into the library and sort of redesigned it and set up a cave area for the young kids' books, put the references books in the reference section, and divided up fiction and nonfiction, various categories, biographies and whatnot, and then I would have award winner displays. So one of the Newberries that I read was Bridge of Terabithia, which I didn't enjoy. But that seems to me thematically, I don't know about language-wise, YA or possibly a middle reader. I'm not sure if this tag is meant to include middle readers as well. And in fact, the last one I read was probably also a middle reader, was Hatchet. And I read that because I had a student, one of my private students, who was reading Hatchet. So I read that one as well, which, it was okay. And what I want to say is that actually, this might be in a future question, so I'll hold off on that one. All right. Question 2. 2 truths and a lie. 2 truths and a lie. See if you can guess which one is a lie. YA books have strong characters. YA books have strong plots. All American schoolboys and girls read The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. Okay. 3, if. This one is, if you could time travel to meet your favorite protagonist, where would you go? This isn't really a time travel, so perhaps it's a bit unfair. Well, it is, but so I used to love the If Choose Your Own Adventure books, which I think are sort of around YA age, or maybe middle grade again. But I used to love those, and there was a Maya sci-fi Mayan. So that combination of the Mayan, which is historical, with the sci-fi element, I think would be super, super fun. So I would like to be in that book. 4 is This or That, about books and adaptations. Which do you prefer, etc., etc.? Actually, let me read it for you. Do you read the book before you watch the adaptation? Do you prefer the book or the adaptation? Did the book or the adaptation appeal more to adults? I think the appeal is probably, well, less and less kids are reading, so possibly the books are more appealing to adults. But I think the films are equally appealing to adults as well. I read or see whichever one I happen to read or see first. The last one I saw that sticks in my in my mind, is The Wrinkle in Time, because that was a horrible adaptation. And I recently saw a booktuber agreeing with me, and it made me so happy. And I guess it has horrible reviews and everything as well. They just really made it so mushy, horrible. And I remember it was such a great book. Now I want to go back and read to reassure myself that it was such a good book. But my danger is this: the dangers of adaptations. If the adaptation is too good or too bad. If it's too bad, if you didn't know already that Wrinkle in Time was an awesome book and you saw that movie, you would never want to go read that book, right? Because you saw a crappy movie of it. But the other thing can happen, which is if the movie is too good, then you're like, oh, well, I get the story. Like I don't need to see to read the book. And I think this is happening a lot with some of the more popular adult rewritings of classics, right? Or either Greco-Roman classics or modern classics like Huck Finn, etc. I haven't read most of these, so I'm speaking I'm speaking safely. No one can be mad at me because I haven't read them. But I have a fear that the ones that are good, seems to me that it's not causing the people reading them to want to go back and read the original. And that, I think, I disagree with that. Any adaptation should make the reader want to go back and discover the original as well. So I think that's part of your job as an adapter, is to do that honor to something that you obviously loved, right? So you want to share with others. Okay, so would you rather label a book YA or just let books be books? I have absolutely no problems with labeling books YA, middle reader, whatever gets readers to them. If it were put people off, then I think that would be pretty bad marketing. But I think for the most part, they know their numbers, and they're trying to get the books in the hands of the people that will enjoy them. Sometimes they are better at that than others. I think they're better at that when people are more in the mainstream, right? Everybody's liking the same sorts of things, pretty safe. I think when you come to outliers like myself who like weird things, it becomes more and more difficult for marketers to figure out what we might like. But yeah, no problem with the YA category. What I do have a problem with is people, is this the next one? No. Next one is, when I grow up, if there a YA book you feel would be successful for adult readers in the broader literary world? Yes, I think all good books are appealing to adult readers. So if it's an excellent genre book, if it's an excellent fantasy, for example, then I will read it, even if it's a manga whose art style I do not enjoy. But I realized one day that if I was missing out on some of the best fantasy that was coming out in those formats. So if they're good stories, let them be told in whatever format, and they'll hopefully find their readers. Now, here's what I wanted to say all along. When the wild wind blows, what was your favorite YA book when you were a teen? So it's not true that we didn't have YA books before. We didn't have maybe a YA section in the bookstore. Let me tell you what we did have, and what I think is super, super important, and what I grew up reading. We had, aged editions of the classics. You had, from the smallest little square books, right, with mostly pictures, to chapter books now with illustrations, but more and more text. You had the classics retold, or in certain cases just abridged, in ways that are appealing and appropriate to the different ages of readership. Which is why I say classics are wonderful and they're for everyone and they're readable by everyone. And I have no problem with them being skillfully, adapted to make them accessible to different readers. So I grew up with those and I love them. So I knew many of the classic stories from a younger age. And it never stopped me from wanting to rediscover them at each new pinnacle of appreciation, right? So this is something I'm a big fan of. So bring on the graphic novel adaptations. Bring it on. They're all great. And classics are great stories. So yes, they have that value added stuff when you can start really getting into the fineries of the language and subtext and symbolisms, but they can be appreciated from the youngest age just for the plots and characters alone. All right, great, enough about all that. So that's what main thing that I wanted to say about YA books today. Um, 8. So is Desert Island. What YA book goes on the Desert Island with me? I think I'd probably take a Potter. They're longish. I don't know which one I would choose. They're longish, and I know the story, the series, well enough that I would probably be able to remember, excuse me, the other volumes. And so I could write out the other volumes in the beginning, sort of faithful to my memory of them. So have sort of the original version. And then also then I could start rewriting them all in different ways, and then maybe writing sequels. So I think that I'm looking to get the most out of one book in terms of prompts for creating myself more and more and more books. So that's why I think maybe Harry Potter would be a pretty okay bet. So Taboo is number 9. Describe the YA book you think everyone should read without saying the words in the title or naming the author. This book is by probably the best, maybe not the best known anymore, but probably the best female fantasy writer. Also wrote sci-fi. Certainly of the 70s, that era-ish. Won, all the awards, Hugos, and all that good stuff. And her main series, her trilogy, has the title of the world in which it takes place, which is compound noun with two parts, two noun parts. The first of which is one of the 4 elements, the 4 Western elements, or the 6 Chinese elements, which is not, let's take the Western ones, not fire, and not water, and not air or wind. And the second part of which is smaller than an ocean, larger than a lake. Examples of which would be Caspian, black, red, Caribbean. So there you go. This series is one of my all-time favorites. And I believe it's now a recognized YA before there were YAs. So there you are, my experience and appreciation of YA books. Hope to bring you very soon, well, within 10 days, I might give myself an extra week because I'm still finishing couple other books for a couple other challenges in August. But I hope to bring you a YA review very soon in honor of this very laudable and exciting new BookTube challenge. Get involved. Do it. You've got 10 days left, according to my calendar. Today, this is the 19th. Probably get you posted tonight or tomorrow. Happy YA reading.